Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be unboxing Blame Game Murders at Karlov Manor Commander deck. Happened to get a good deal on this one, and this one is Goad Your Foes, Identify Suspects. So we're going to be suspecting people and we're going to be goading. Sounds interesting. Everyone's a suspect. Battle your friends with powerful creatures and spectacular spells in Magic's most popular multiplayer format. With Nelly Borka in your court, the suspect mechanic is your strategy of choice. Goad your suspects and grant card draw to encourage attacking the rest of the table. Then sit back, relax, and watch the chaos unfold. Nelly Borka, Impulsive Accuser. Nelly is a young sergeant for the agency and the Boros Legion, but her brashness means she's more instigator than investigator. Includes Collector Booster Sample Pack Plus, 100 card deck with 12 new cards, deck box, 10 double-sided token cards, foil etched display commander, life wheel, strategy insert, reference card. Sounds good. Let's get it cracked open here. J'accuse. Interesting. I like these tokens actually. Suspected tokens. That's pretty cool. I like those. Much better than the generic ones. And we get some, I guess these are goad tokens. That's what I'm guessing. And we get some +1/+1 tokens as well. There's our Collector Booster Sample Pack. Now box. Shows a picture of the commander on it. Alright. Let's open this one. Almost as good as the real thing. There she goes. And the first one's going to be Ezram Agency Chief. 1 white, blue. Let me bring this closer. With legendary creature Archon Detective. It's a 5/5 flying. When Ezram Agency Chief enters the battlefield, investigate twice. Pay 1 colorless, sacrifice an artifact. Ezram gains your choice of Vigilance, Lifelink, or Hexproof until end of turn. And we get Gleaming Geardrake. It's blue-red, artifact creature Drake. It's a 1/1 flying. When Gleaming Geardrake enters the battlefield, investigate. Whenever you sacrifice an artifact, put a +1/+1 counter on Gleaming Geardrake. I'm not terribly interested in those. And let's have a look what we got here. Mystery File, The Confounding Kidnapper. DravnekkaDetectiveAgency.com. There's a little bit about Nelly Borka there. I'm not interested in Nelly Borka. Look at her face. Look at that face. Who should be interested in that? And on this side, we got her face again. Look at that smarmy look on her face. So smug. And let's read a little bit about Blame Game. They're the murderer. Get them. Say it with conviction, but as you work with upstart Detective Nelly Borka, Impulsive Accuser, don't be afraid to change your answer next turn. This deck wants to play politics and convince your opponents to attack one another. After all, when they do, Nelly gives them cards. Just keep reminding them of that. And if that doesn't convince them, you can protect yourself with cards like Ghostly Prison or goad cards like Hot Pursuit. Getting your commander out early to keep a stocked hand is critical, so try to play Nelly as soon as possible, then let the investigations begin. Ghostly Prison, that is a awesome card. So I'm looking forward to seeing that in the deck. just the price of Ghostly Prison makes this purchase worth what I paid for it. It's okay. Nelly Borka, Impulsive Accuser. Borka. 2 colorless, red white, legendary creature, human detective, 2/4. Vigilance. Whenever Nelly Impulsive Accuser attacks, suspect target creature and goad all suspected creatures. Whenever one or more creatures an opponent controls deal combat damage to one or more of your opponents, you and the controller of those creatures each draw a card. Whenever one or more creatures an opponent controls deal combat damage to one or more of your opponents. Well, I like the second bit. The second bit's great. The first one we have to attack with her. But we can goad. We can suspect one target creature. Okay, this is cool. I guess we're starting from here. This is a thick cardboard card. Don't know why they would make them out of anything else, but yeah. 6/12 construct. So, do you know which card creates a 6/12 construct? You 1/1 soldier. That's a cool looking token. A 1/1 human. It's a nice looking token. Some nice human tokens on the other side. Is a 3/3 ogre. And on the other side is a 1/1 soldier. Soldier ogre. Soldier ogre. And we're making a mess of this. We've got kobolds of Kirkkeep. So we're going to have that land, and you know what's the name of the land that creates the kobolds of Kirkkeep? Gold. There's gold in them there hills. Lightning Rager. That's interesting. First time to see that one. Gold and treasure on the other side. And gold and kobolds. Gold and the Monarch. The Monarch, that's a fun mechanic to play with the Monarch. Immortal Obligation. 1 and a white. For an instant, return target creature card from an opponent's graveyard to the battlefield under their control with a duty counter on it. For as long as that creature has a duty counter on it, it is goaded. Can't attack you or a permanent you control, and can't block creatures you control. So it's goaded, but also it can't attack you or a planeswalker you control, and can't block your creatures. So that's quite good. Quite good indeed. I like that one. Otherworldly Escort. 3 and a white for a 4/3 human detective creature. Flash. When Otherworldly Escort dies, if it is not a spirit, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with 4 charge counters on it. It's a spirit detective. It's no longer human. 1 and a white. Tap. Remove a charge counter from Otherworldly Escort. Destroy target creature that dealt damage to you this turn. There's a lot of text. There's a lot going on there. Basically, you need this to die to get the charge counters on it. But once it's got the charge counters on it, you can then use it as target creature removal. But only if that creature dealt damage to you this turn. So it's very conditional. A lot of text there. I don't generally like cards with that much text on them. Redemption Arc. 2 and a white. Enchantment Aura. Enchanted creature. Enchanted creature has indestructible and is goaded. And then 1 and a white. Exile enchanted creature. So interesting. Interesting goad card. Make your opponent's creatures indestructible though. Interesting. Trouble in Pairs. I think we were talking earlier about a card that makes this deck worth purchasing. This is worth a lot of money because the artwork is very controversial. The artwork is by Faye Dalton. I'm going to pick this up and see if we can get this. Trouble in pairs. 2 white for an enchantment. If an opponent would begin an extra turn, that player skips that turn instead. Whenever an opponent attacks you with 2 or more creatures, draws their second card each turn, or casts their second spell each turn, you draw a card. So whenever an opponent draws their second card, or casts their second spell each turn. So there's lots of conditions there where we can draw an extra card. This is really good. Little pricey at 4 mana, but it's definitely going to be drawing us cards. Those conditions are quite easy to meet. Havoc Eater. It's 5 red for a creature elemental 3/3 flying. When Havoc Eater enters the battlefield, for each opponent, goad up to 1 target creature that opponent controls. Put X +1/+1 counters on Havoc Eater, where X is the total power of creatures goaded this way. That's excellent. So 7 mana, extremely expensive. It's only at 3/3 for 7 mana, but those abilities are very powerful indeed. It's gonna goad 3 creatures, and then it's gonna get a lot of +1/+1 counters. Okay, next card, Hot Pursuit. 1 and a red for an enchantment. When Hot Pursuit enters the battlefield, suspect target creature an opponent controls. As long as Hot Pursuit remains on the battlefield, that creature is also goaded. At the beginning of combat on your turn, if 2 or more players have lost the game, gain control of all goaded and or suspected creatures until end of turn. Untap them and they gain haste until end of turn. What a load of text. A load of text. It's 2 mana and it does all of that. I can't keep up with all of this. So it's going to suspect 1 creature, and it's also going to goad it. And then if it comes down to you and 1 other player left in the game, you're going to gain control of any creatures that were goaded or suspected. Every turn. At the beginning of combat on your turn. Yeah, you're going to gain control of those creatures. Help you win the game. This is going to help any goad deck win the game. Because usually that's the problem. When you reach the last player, suddenly none of your goad cards help you, because creatures can attack you even if they're goaded. They have no other choice. Mob Verdict. 2 red for a sorcery. Secret Council. Each player secretly votes for another player, then those votes are revealed. For each vote an opponent received, Mob Verdict deals 2 damage to that player and each creature that player controls. For each vote you received, draw a card. I absolutely love that card. I love any of these cards which make people vote or decide who's going to take the damage, or it's decided randomly or something like that. Looks like a lot of fun. Prisoner's Dilemma. 3 red for a sorcery. Each opponent secretly chooses Silence or Snitch. Then the choices are revealed. If each opponent chose Silence, Prisoner's Dilemma deals 4 damage to each of them. If each opponent chose Snitch, Prisoner's Dilemma deals 8 damage to each of them. Otherwise, Prisoner's Dilemma deals 12 damage to each opponent who chose Silence. So, just huge amount of text on all of these cards. It's really going to take a while to understand what they do, but basically it's another voting card. It's another political voting card. And it also has flashback. 5 red. So it's going to come back again. Basically, our opponents will choose Silence or Snitch. If everyone chooses Silence, everyone takes 4 damage. If one person chose Snitch, they'll take 8 damage and 12 damage to each opponent who chose Silence. I think that's how it works. There's a lot of text there. People are going to take damage. Take the bait. 2 red-white or an instant. Cast the spell only during an opponent's turn and only during combat. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to you and planeswalkers you control this turn. Untap all attacking creatures and goad them. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. Fantastic. Love that. It's going to redirect an opponent's attack at you. Love that, except you got to hold up 4 mana for that, which is quite a lot of mana to hold up. Ransom Note. I've seen this before. This is one colorless for an artifact clue. When Ransom Note enters the battlefield, Surveyor 1. Pay 2 colorless, sacrifice Ransom Note, choose 1, cloak the top card of your library. Good, target creature, draw a card. So it's giving you a few little options there. It's a nice little cheap artifact. Angel of the Ruins. 5 white for an artifact creature angel, 5/7 flying. When Angel of the Ruins enters the battlefield, exile up to 2 target artifacts and or enchantments. Bit of target removal. Or Plains Cycling. Pay 2 colorless, discard this card, search your library for a Plains card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So you get that in your starting hand, you could use it to get you an extra land. Comeuppance. 3 and a white for an instant. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to you and planeswalkers you control this turn by sources you don't control. If damage from a creature source is prevented this way, Comeuppance deals that much damage to that creature. Damage from a non-creature source is prevented this way, and Comeuppance deals that much damage to the source's controller. This could be huge. If an opponent attacks you for a lot of damage, you can redirect it back at them. It's like that card. What is that? Deflecting Swat. I'd be surprised if that card is not in here. That is awesome. Love that card. Love what it does. Darian, King of Kageldor. So 4 white for a legendary creature, human soldier, 3/3. Whenever you're dealt damage, you may create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Oof. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Love that one. Duelist's Heritage. 2 and a white. For an enchantment, whenever 1 or more creatures attack, you may have target attacking creature gain double strike until end of turn. This is going to give double strike to one of your attackers, but also to one of each of your opponents. Every time they attack, you get to choose double strike. That is awesome. 3 mana. That's amazing. Elspeth, Sun's Champion. 4 white for a legendary planeswalker. The +1, she has 4 loyalty counters. +1, create 3 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Nice. -3, destroy all creatures with power 4 or greater. -7, you get an emblem with creatures you control get +2/+2 and have flying. Nice planeswalker. Quite expensive though, 6 mana. 6 mana. Possibly all we're going to get out of it are 3 1/1 white soldier. If she lives, we can get value. We can protect her with some of the spells I've seen already. Keeper of the Accord, 3 and a white for a human soldier, 3/4. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more creatures than you, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more lands than you, may search your library for a basic lands card. Put it onto the battlefield, tapped, and then shuffle. Cool card that's going to be ramping us. Does cost 4 mana. We'll be creating some 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. Love it. I wish they were white human soldier. White soldier human. Human white human soldier. It'd be good if they were human as well. Lauren of the Third Path, 2 and a white for a legendary creature, human artificer. It's a 2/1 with vigilance. When Lauren of the Third Path enters the battlefield, destroy up to one target artifact or enchantment. Tap. You and target opponent each draw a card. What a lovely, lovely card this is. It gets rid of any problems like artifacts or enchantments. Perfect target to blink in and out. 2-1 with vigilance. Yeah, that's okay. And tap and we can share the love. Fantastic. It's a great card. Like it. Promise of Loyalty. 4 and a white. For a sorcery. Each player puts a vow counter on a creature they control and sacrifices the rest. Each of those creatures can attack you or planeswalkers you control for as long as it has a vow counter on it. So it's a board wipe. And anything that survives cannot attack you. Very, very cool. I'm liking this deck so far. It's very interesting. Selfless Squire, 3 and a white free. Creature human soldier, eats a 1/1 with flash. When Selfless Squire enters the battlefield, prevent all damage that we've dealt to you this turn. Whenever damage that would be dealt to you is prevented, put any +1/+1 counters on Selfless Squire. Cool little card. It looks like we're going to have to be holding up 4 mana. 4 mana. Sevin's Reclamation. Lots of bangers in this deck. Seeing lots of bangers. Banger cards like this one. 2 and a white for a sorcery. Return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. To the battlefield, people. This spell was cast from a graveyard. You may copy this spell and may choose a new target for the copy. So we're going to return something. It goes to the graveyard. Then we can pay the flashback cost, which is 4 and a white. We can do it twice. So 3 times in total. Very, very nice card. It's a banger. Smuggler's Share. 2 and a white for an enchantment. At the beginning of each end step, draw a card for each opponent who drew 2 or more cards this turn. Then create a traded token for each opponent who had 2 or more lands into the battlefield under their control this turn. That's a nice, nice card. It's gonna let you keep up with whatever your opponents are doing. Stalking Leonin. 2 and a white. For a creature, Count Archer. When Stalking Leonin enters the battlefield, secretly choose an opponent. Ooh, fun. Reveal the player you chose. Exile target creature that's attacking you. If it's controlled by the chosen player, activate only once. So I'm guessing we can blink this out and back in again, and we can choose another opponent. That would be perfect for that one. If it's 3 mana for a 3/3 as well. Sun Titan. 4 whites for a creature giant. It's a 6/6. Whenever Sun Titan enters the battlefield or attacks, you may return target permanent card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Really cool card. If you can afford to get this out, it's such a great card to have on the battlefield. Speaking of which, here's an amazing card to have on the battlefield. Windborn Muse. 3 and a white for a creature spirit. It's a flying 2/3. Creatures can't attack you unless the controller pays 2 for each creature they control that's attacking you. Love it. Love it. It's just not worth attacking me. Attack someone else. Winds of Wrath. 3 white for a sorcery. Destroy all creatures that aren't enchanted. They can't be regenerated. Are we enchanting our creatures? It's a board wipe. And do +1/+1 counters can't count as enchanted. I don't think so. Agitator Ant. 2 and a red for a creature insect. At the beginning, it's a 2/2. At the beginning of your end step, each player may put 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature they control. Goad each creature that had counters put on them this way. So, our opponents probably will choose not to put the counters on because it gives them the choice. But maybe they will choose. Brash Taunter. Here's Here's a powerful card. 4 and a red for a creature goblin. It's a 1/1 indestructible. Whenever Rash Taunter is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent. We can combo with this card. It's a huge combo piece. 2 and a red tap. Rash Taunter fights another target creature. Amazing. Super powerful card. Disrupt Decorum. 2 red for a sorcery. Goad all creatures you don't control. Love it. Love it. Loving this deck so far. It's full of bangers. I love everything this deck is doing. Etali Primal Storm. It's 4 red for a legendary creature, Elder Dinosaur. It's a 6/6. Whenever Etali Primal Storm attacks, exile the top card of each player's library, then you may cast any number of spells from among those cards without paying their mana costs. Free spells, people. Free spells. Wow, that is powerful. Fiendish Duo. 4 red. Lots of expensive 6 mana spells in this deck. Haven't seen any ways to cheat them out. So we're kind of in trouble here with the mana curve. It's a creature devil. It's a 5/5 with first strike. If a source would deal damage to an opponent, it deals double that damage to that player instead. That is very cool. We love that. Doubling damage to an opponent doesn't do anything if they attack you. Love it. Frontier Warmonger. 3 and a red for a creature human warrior. It's a 4/4. Whenever one or more creatures attack one of your opponents or a planeswalker they control, those creatures gain menace until end of turn. We're buffing up our opponents, but only when they attack our opponents. So fantastic. Kazul, Tyrant of the Cliffs. It's 3 red for a legendary creature, Ogre Warrior. It's a 5/4. Whenever a creature an opponent controls attacks, if you're the defending player, create a 3/3 red Ogre creature token, unless that creature's controller pays 3. So for each creature that attacks you, you're going to create a 3/3 Ogre. Love it. Perfect in a Goad deck. Spectacular Showdown. 1 and a red for a sorcery. Put a double strike counter on a target creature, then goad each creature that had a double strike counter put on it this way. And we can overload it for 4 red. And it's going to change target to each, which is going to be every creature. Vengeful Ancestor. 2 red for a Spirit Dragon. Flying 3/4. Whenever Vengeful Ancestor enters the battlefield or attacks, goad target creature. Whenever a goaded creature attacks, it deals 1 damage to its controller. Perfect. Anya, Merciless Angel. It's a 3 red-white legendary creature angel. It's a 4/4 flying. Anya gets +3/+3 for each opponent whose life total is less than half their starting life total. As long as an opponent's life total is less than half their starting life total, Anya has indestructible. Very likely we can get that one. Boros Reckoner. It's 3 red, or 3, what do we call these? Red-white. Red-white. Somebody tell me what they're called, please. Creature, Minotaur Wizard, 3/3. Whenever Boros Reckoner is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to any target. Red-white Boros Reckoner gains first strike until end of turn. This is a combo piece. A combo piece right there. There's the card I was talking about before. We've got that one in here as well. This is... hello. This one is... Deflecting Palm. Red-white instant. The next time a source of your choice will be dealt, and the next time a source of your choice would deal damage to you this turn, prevent that damage. If damage is prevented this way, Deflecting Palm deals that much damage to that source's controller. So if a creature attacks you, it goes back to the controller of the creature. But it's a source, so it could be a spell, or something else. Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight. This is an absolute banger of a card. I've made a commander deck with Gisela. Amazing to have her in the 99. She's a 4 red, white. So 7 mana for a 5/5 flying first strike. But none of that matters because when she's on the battlefield, if any source would deal damage to an opponent, it deals double that damage. And if any source would deal damage to you, it does half that rounded up. So if it's one damage, it gets halved to 5 and then gets rounded up to 1. So it prevents all instances of 1 damage. Amazing card. And I have a commander deck with her as the commander. Ancient Stone Idol. It's 10 colorless for an artifact creature golem. It's a 12/12. It's a 12/12 with flash. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each attacking creature. Trample. When Ancient Stone Idol dies, create a 6/12 colorless construct artifact creature token with trample. Really cool card. Hopefully, we can cast it for cheap. I'm not sure we're going to be doing much attacking in this deck, but we're going to be goading, forcing our opponents to. Solemn Simulacrum. This deck is full of bangers and it just keeps on going. This is 4 mana for an artifact creature golem. It's a 2/2. When it ETBs, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle, and when it dies, you may draw a card. Fantastic card to blink. I haven't seen any blink in this deck. It's a shame because there's a few cards that could benefit from that. And we can do that with white. Steel Hellkite. It's a 6 colorless for a 5/5 flying. This deck is full of banger cards. This is another banger. You pay 2 colorless, Steel Hellkite gets +1/+0 until end of turn. You pay X, destroy each non-land permanent with mana value X, whose controller was dealt combat damage by Steel Hellkite this turn. Activate only once each turn. You're going to wipe everything they've got. Cost you a little bit of mana, but wow, that's powerful. Tome of Legends, 2 colorless for an artifact. Tome of Legends enters the battlefield with a page counter on it. Whenever your commander enters the battlefield or attacks, put a page counter on Tome of Legends. 1 colorless and tap. Remove a page counter from Tome of Legends. Draw a card. Nice card draw. Castle Ardenvale. We're into the lands now. This is a rare land. When this enters the battlefield, tapped unless you control a plains. Tap for white mana, or 2 white, tap creative 1/1 white human creature token. Not a great value for that, but better than nothing. Exotic Orchard. I'm not going to go through, I'm not going to explain all these. Very calm Snarl. Keep me creating some kobolds for 2 mana. Labyrinth of Scophos. First time for me to see this one. Beautiful labyrinth there. Tap for a colorless or 4 colorless. Tap, remove target attacking or blocking creature from combat. Cool, it's kind of like a Maze of Ith. Cool card. Needle Spires. Scavenger Grounds. 2 and tap. Sacrifice a desert. This is a desert. Exile or graveyards. Nice bit of graveyard hate. Slayer's Stronghold. Tap for colorless or red and white. Tap. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains vigilance and haste until end of turn. Sorry, that was blurry. Temple of Triumph. Enters the battlefield tapped. And scry 1. Throne of the High City. 4 colorless and tap. Sacrifice this, you become the monarch. Ballroom. 3 colors and tap, pay life equal to the number of colors in your commander's color identity. Draw a card. That's cool. Ghostly Prison. This is just like Windborne Muse, but cheaper, and it's an enchantment. It's harder to remove. Your opponents have to pay 2 for each creature that attacks you. Amazing. Gideon's Sacrifice. 1 white mana for an instant. Choose a creature or planeswalker you control. All damage that would be dealt this turn to you and permanents you control is dealt to the chosen permanent instead. That works. Martial Impetus. 2 and a white, enchantment or enchant creature. It gets +1/+1 and is goaded. Whenever it attacks, each other creature that's attacking one of your opponents gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Encouraging the goad. Orzhov Advocist. 2 and a white. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player may put 2 +1/+1 counters on a creature they control. If a player does, creatures that players control can't attack you or planeswalkers you control until your next turn. Yeah, not loving that one, because they can come and get you later. But it's, not loving that one. There could be some situation where that would work. Seal of Cleansing. 1 and a white, enchantment, sacrifice Seal of Cleansing, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Weird, because this is like a disenchant, but it's an enchantment. So, I don't know, that's weird. Since on the battlefield, it's I will remove your thing. It's like a threat. Soul Snare. So speaking of which, here's another one. Sits on the battlefield, it's a threat. Don't do that, otherwise I will exile your creature. Don't attack me, or exile it. Vow of Duty. We can play this on our own creature, or we can play it on an opponent's creature. It works better when we play it on an opponent's creature. 2 and a white, and it's better than goad. It can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. It's not goaded, but cannot attack you. Wall of Omens. 1 and a white, defender is a 0/4, and when it ETBs, draw a card. There's a few targets for blinking here. Curse of Opulence. 1 red mana. It's an enchantment or a curse. Enchant player. Whenever enchanted player is attacked, create a gold token. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. That's cool. That's perfect in this deck. Rite of the Raging Storm. 3 red for an enchantment. Creatures named Lightning Rager can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player creates a 5/1 red elemental creature token named Lightning Rager. It has trample, haste, and at the beginning of the end step, sacrifice this creature. So we'll be giving a 5/1 to each of our opponents on each of their turns, and they can't attack us. That's amazing. Amazing. Shiny Impetus. 2 and a red. Enchantment or enchant creature gets +2/+2 and is goaded. When it attacks you, create a treasure token. Nice. Very nice. Vow of Lightning. 2 and a red. Enchantment aura. Enchant creature gets +2/+2 as first strike and can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. Very, very nice. Lots of gold in here. Arcane Signet. Bloodthirsty Blade. 2 colorless for an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and is goaded. Pay 1 colorless. Attach Bloodthirsty Blade to target creature and opponent controls. Activate only as a sorcery. So more goading. This one hangs around after the creature is destroyed. Felwar Stone. A bit of ramp. Mind Stone. Of course, Soul Ring. Talisman of Conviction. Thought Vessel. Lots of mana rocks in here. Access Tunnel. Target creature with power 3 or less can't be blocked this turn. Not necessarily our creature, anyone's creature. Ash Barrens. Tap for colorless or land cycle it. Boros Garrison. Let's see, bounce land, command tower, escape tunnel. Sacrifice escape tunnel, search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle, or sacrifice target creature with power 2 or less can be blocked this turn. Myriad Landscape goes and gets us 2 lands. Reliquary Tower, no maximum hand size. Rogue's Passage, pay 4 and tap. Target creature can be blocked this turn. Sunhome, Fortress of the Legion, pay 2, red white, tap, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Temple of the False God, it's a terrible, terrible land. It's the opposite of Sol Ring. And then we've got some basics. How many basics do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mountains. And what have we got here? And our commander and ooh, oh wow, that is amazing. Look at that. That is gorgeous. Look at that. Red, white for a legendary creature angel. It's a 4/3 for 3 mana. Flying lifelink. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell that targets only feather, you may choose any number of other creatures that spell could target and pay 2 for each of those creatures. If you do, for each of those creatures, copy that spell. The copy targets that creature. So if you're it's a spell 00. You can, target feather with a spell, and you can pay some extra mana and copy it. Really, really cool card. Amazing 4/3 flying vigilance for 3 mana. Sorry, not vigilance, it's lifelink. Flying lifelink. Amazing card. That would be an amazing commander you build around that. Wow, what a cool deck. Absolutely love this deck. Even if don't like the commander, everything in this deck is a banger. This deck is full of bangers. This looks really, really fun to play. Can't wait to try out this deck. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that, and stick around because we'll definitely do another one